Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the New Muslim Workshop. My name is Mahmoud, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about canines. Stick around.
Liebe Palästina, großer Zionismen. Liebe Palästina.
Welcome back. So, 15 years ago, I used to work in Cairo, Egypt, at a healthcare advertising company. One of the account managers there, we used to work together on a regular basis, and I guess he saw that I would be praying in the masjid on a regular basis. And so I had some ilm, I had some knowledge when it came to Islamic jurisprudence and Islamic fiqh. So uh, the brother came and he said, can I ask you a question regarding Islamic rulings? And I said, sure. If I know it, I'll answer you, inshallah. And if I don't, I'll research it and I'll get you the evidences. So he comes to me and he says, look, I bought a golden retriever and I want to know if owning a dog is halal. Now, that's kind of the backwards way of doing things. You don't really buy something and then you ask if it's haram or not. Very much like going and getting a tattoo and then realizing, oh, wait, are there any religious implications? And of course, there was a religious implication with regards to owning a dog as a Muslim. So I went and I did research, and I knew obviously that owning a dog is haram. It's not permissible. I just didn't have the hadith. I didn't know the actual matan of the hadith, the content of the hadith, and I needed an official ruling, something that this person can sort of understand without me being the intermediary. I can say, look, this is the ruling, so that he doesn't say, oh, this is Mahmoud's interpretation of whatever this is. So I went and I got him the ruling off an online fatwa website, and it contained all the evidences, and I brought it to him and I gave it to him and I said, look, I did the research and it turns out that owning a dog, except for three and now four with modern times reasons, is haram. It's not permissible. And so he said, okay, what are the three reasons? And I said, well, number one, it's a hunting dog. So you use it and have trained it for hunting animals. Number two, you have a herding dog, as in you have a farm and you are using this dog to shepherd these animals um, to move them, from pasture to the barns, and from the barns to the pasture, etc. And so the third one was, if you're using that dog to guard a property, and you need a relatively large property for you to require a dog to guard it. And so he said, okay, fine. So, what's the fourth? You said there was a modern reason. I said, if it was a seeing eye dog, if it was something for a companion dog that helps a person, a normal day to day life, with that dog helping them, guarding them, that is acceptable in Islam. However, for, let's say, a normal person who is living in the city or is living in a suburb, it is not permissible for them to own a dog and to bring this dog inside their house. And the punishment for that is the loss of qirat or qiratan. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is either that they will lose one qirat or they will lose qiratan, which is equivalent. One qirat is equivalent to the Mount of Uhud. I've been to Medina. It's a huge mountain. In hasanat, in good deeds. So you'll be hemorrhaging a large amount of good deeds on a daily basis. So the gentleman thanked me and he said something very strange. He said, I wish I never asked you. He didn't say, oh, I wish I never bought the poor dog, or it's going to be kind of hard finding the dog a new home, etc. this is kind of one of those pieces of information where they're kind of in the back of your head as a Muslim. You're not supposed to own a dog. And if you do own a dog, then there are repercussions. And so, what did the Prophet ﷺ specifically say with regards to dogs? And there's two hadith, one from Abu Hurayrah, may Allah be pleased with him, who narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever keeps a dog except a dog for herding, hunting, or farming, one qirat will be deducted from his reward each day. And this is narrated by Muslim, and the number of the hadith is 1575. The second hadith is narrated by Ibn Umar. So these are golden chains, like these are hadith are irrefutable. And so Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever keeps a dog except a dog for herding livestock that is trained for hunting, 2 qirat will be deducted from his reward each day. This is narrated by al-Bukhari 5163 and by Muslim 1574. Okay, so this is a clear hadith from the Prophet ﷺ when he says you can't own a dog. Now, obviously, the situation is to someone who was born in the West and who grew up in the West and maybe lived with a dog for years and years and years, and basically subscribes to the concept of a dog is a man's best friend. They will find this shocking and will say, wait a minute, I own a dog right now. What am I supposed to do with this dog? Is this going to cause problems for me? And one of the things that you have to understand is that a dog's saliva is considered najis. And the ruling from the Prophet ﷺ with regards to any vessel that a dog drinks from, for you to reuse that for any other purpose other than the dog itself, it needs to be washed 7 times, and one of these times using sand or dirt, if you will. So it's impermissible for you to own a dog, except for the 4 reasons I've mentioned. Now, in addition to that, as Muslims, we are not allowed to sell dogs. We're not allowed to sell or purchase dogs. You're allowed to be gifted a dog, but you are not allowed to go and buy or sell. Now, there is some dispute with regards to that, because people will say, well, what about hunting dogs? Like, how are you going to go buy a hunting dog? This is a matter of dispute, and with regards to having a hunting dog, or you're already in a situation where it is permissible to have the hunting dog, but where can I get one? Can I get gifted one, or can I buy one? And that it's a much simpler issue, as opposed to you going and buying what they call like toy dogs, the little chihuahuas, or whatever the little dogs that were bred to be small and cute, and bringing it into your house. So the dogs and their najasa, unfortunately, keep the angels away from your home. The angels reject the dogs as a najasa, and therefore, inside your home, they will not come in. There is no problem with you petting a dog. There is no problem with you petting a sweaty dog. However, the saliva is where there is an issue. Now, are there diseases that are spread by canine saliva? Yes, there are. It's not the issue here. The issue is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, the creator of all things, has required this from us. And so we will comply, and we will not continue to use use a dog as a pet. So in conclusion, the regular everyday Muslim should not have a dog. The regular everyday Muslim, if you have come into Islam, I understand it's much like a haram relationship. You kind of have to phase it out. The same thing happens here, is you have to phase out your ownership of this dog. You can give it away, don't sell it. Jazakumullah khair for watching, and inshallah, see you again in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.